The pool moms, well, they would sit on the side of the pool and let their legs dangle in the water. They would slowly move their feet back and forth while their kids bobbed up and down. Kids like me, who were hell-bent on accruing bad karma early on, would run up from behind and do a cannonball right in front of them. The freezing water sprayed everywhere. Those moms would just glower at me, and I would just be like, what? I don't know. I didn't do anything. We spent our time in our backyard laying on the warm, damp grass, looking for that elusive 4-leaf clover that would bring us unimaginable luck. Or we would roll on our backs and visualize shapes in the clouds. The grass was our soft cushion, and it also caught us when we passed out while playing a game we aptly named Pass Out. It took 2 people to play. One person would stand behind the passer-outer, who would squat down and do deep breaths and then quickly stand up and hold their breath, while the other kid would wrap their arms around them. And then a delicious feeling of dizziness and faintness would kind of just wash over you, and then the kid behind you would just lay you down on the soft grass. But my mom caught us one day, and she banished that game from the face of the earth. But it was fun, and we would not be deterred. So with a little research, we found a spot in the yard that my mom couldn't see from any window in the house. And voila, that game was back on. My sister, Aunt Al, and neighbor, Aunt Kay, and I, we were probably could be described as firebugs or possibly pyromaniacs. We were obsessed with fire. One day we had the idea to make our own candle. We got to business and gathered an old coffee tin, crayons, and matches. We peeled the paper off the crayons and carefully placed them in the tin. We gathered dried twigs, leaves, and grass and began to build a beautiful fire behind the red wooden garage. The crayons were starting to melt as we danced with excitement. We didn't know the impending doom that was right around the corner, literally around the corner. My mother again, suspicious of the quiet hitting children, rounded the corner of the garage. We saw her face when she took in what was going on, and we were, uh-oh. And so she stomped out that fire, grabbed my sister and I, and sent Aunt Kay home. She was the disciplinarian of our family. My major forms of punishment were being sent to the corner for the smallest infractions, washing out my mouth with a bar of Dial soap for language transgressions, and getting the thick police belt on my bare behind for the major crimes. My rule-following older sister never got the belt, but she remembers it sitting on top of the fridge waiting to be called into service at a moment's notice. My younger sister and baby of the family, Anne, she remembers getting it a couple times. Well, I remember getting it a lot. So many of our summer days were spent playing Kick the Can, Ghost in the Graveyard, and Ding Dong Ditch, in a game we made up called Torture. Like the pass-out game, it required 2 people to play. Player 1 would remove their shoes and socks and stand at the line in our driveway that divided the concrete from the gravel. Player 2 would take player 1 by the arm and ask slow or fast. If you said slow, the player 1 would take you by the arm and slowly walk your bare feet over the gravel. And if you said fast, they would grab you by the arm and drag you across as fast as they could. Hence the name, Torture. I don't know which one was more painful. Going slow took a longer time, but going fast put a lot more pressure on your feet. I think this game was inspired by a Brady Bunch episode where they walked over flaming coals. I don't know if you remember that or not. I guess we were pretty easily impressionable. And it seems the Partridge Family also made a big impression on us. We even formed our own band. You might have heard of us. We were called the Caterpillars. Neighbor Eddie and Aunt Elle sang into jump rope microphones that were hanging from the rafters in the garage. Aunt Kay played the coffee can drum, and I channeled Susan Day with my croquet balls in the wagon piano. One hot summer day, we serenaded the roofers. We sang our hearts out for them, and we were certain it was the best day of work they ever had. We loved creating plays for our parents and singing loudly. We were obsessed with the song Joy to the World by Three Dogmen, the one with Jeremiah the bullfrog. We would put on our dress-up clothes, which included some gorgeous dresses and slips from my Aunt Lorraine. She was tiny and I literally could fit her clothes when I was 7 years old. I would don her red half slip, if you remember half slips, and I would wear it as a dress. And then Aunt L, Aunt Kay, Eddie, and I would walk around the neighborhood singing Joy to the World on the top of our lungs. We just let our freak flag fly. I can't help but think, this world today, it could really use some random people belting out Joy to the World around every neighborhood. And maybe I need to get the band back together. Now I only have to find a red slip.
Joan Lyellen Burns. Amazing. You threw me a lot of lobs there right at the end. And I grabbed one of them. I need, wow, I have to blow that up. There's going to be a lot of scrolling on this. A lot of times, what I didn't tell you if this is your first time, that often I don't know the song that I'm about to play, so that's why I have my computer and I'm going to be reading it off of here. And so, nobody seems to mind, even if I really fuck it up. It seems like they like it even more. So to say it's like NASCAR, you come for the crashes. I'm sleeping and right in the middle of the country when all at once I wake up from something that keeps knocking at my brain. Before I go insane, I hold a pillow to my head and spring up in my bed. I'm screaming out the words I dread. I think I love you. This morning I woke up with this feeling I didn't know how to deal with, so I just decided to myself, I'll hide it to myself and never talk about it, and did not go out and shout it when you walked into the room. I think I love you. I think I love you. So what am I so afraid of? Afraid that I'm not sure of the love there is no cure for. I think I love you. Isn't that what life is made of? Although it worries me to say I've never felt this way. Harpsichord solo. Is that what a harpsichord is like? Ding, 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 ding. Wow, what is this? A bridge? Oh, I hate bridges. God, because I never remember the bridge. I don't know what I'm up against. I don't know what it's all about. I got so much to think about. Hey, believe me, you really don't have to worry. I only want to make you happy. And if you say go away, I will. I think that better still, I better stay around and love you. Do you think I have a case? Let me ask you to your face.